joining us today. Talking Undisputed.
And the dilemma, the drama going on over there. Skip and Shannon Undisputed.
When we're talking Undisputed, we're not talking Clarissa Shields. We're not talking Devin Haney. We're not talking Roman Reigns or WWE, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Uncle Sharpe.
I'd hope so, because I don't know who any of those people are.
You know.
But yeah. Roman
You don't know
Reigns?
who Roman
I know who
Reigns
Roman
is?
Reigns is, but that's it. It's the only one.
Devin Haney, the GOAT.
No clue.
Clarissa Shields, the GOAT.
See, I watch real sports.
Clip that. Clip that. Clip that. Yikes. Real sports? What do you mean? Wait, don't you watch the PGA Tour?
Wow.
Hard left.
Yeah.
Hard left we've taken, ladies and gentlemen. Hard left
This
we've
is a
taken.
We're not gonna go
discussion
there.
for another time.
We're talking Skip and Shannon.
This is truly
Skip
undisputed.
Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Skip?
Wow.
Skip?
Um,
Yeah, man, what's going on over there?
Nah, it's a madhouse, man. You know, there's a lot of rumors going on. You know, everybody knows that it's coming to an end after a very long run.
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
That's a
wait, really?
Yeah. I think it was 2016.
Jeez.
And I mean, there's been lots of controversy going on. They've been in this position before. You know what I'm saying? They've said stupid shit before in the past, but you know, I don't think anybody can or ever will be upset with Uncle Sharpe. You know what I'm saying? Shannon Sharpe is the that's Uncle. You know what I'm saying? That's that nigga.
Unk.
You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I, naturally have to side with Uncle Sharpe on this one. You know what I'm saying? Because again, but to be fair to Shannon, he is a professional. Not Shannon, Skip. He is a professional. You know, this is his realm.
People hate Skip, but that's what he does. He's an opinionist. And people Skip
he's-
gets hated on.
He's the white version of Stephen A. Smith.
That's why they were so good together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like
He's the original debate sports talk show host. Skip Bayless.
he says a lot of things that people don't like. He says what the fans are afraid to say.
He says a lot of stupid stuff, but it's genuine. Skip
Yeah.
truly believes what he's saying.
Right. And
Crazy old man.
When you're arguing with someone like that, it's difficult.
But dude,
And I mean, they had a long run.
yeah,
you
longer.
know,
I
they're-
believe it was longer than him and Stephen A. were together on air.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
That's impressive.
But dude, Shannon and Skip had such great chemistry, and that's, as you guys all know, that's been my favorite sports show pretty much
It's a
since it
parade
started
inside
airing.
my city. Yeah.
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 But dude, a lot of drama going on there. I mean, they've had some disputes on air that were somewhat personal.
For those of you who don't know, like the reason behind it, a lot of the rumors and a lot of the speculation is that it is because of. It had more reason to do with Skip's tweet.
Pull up the tweet.
I believe that's what Neil is doing right now.
I was not, but I can.
That's what Neil is doing right now. That we told him.
Yes.
No, I'm just-
Skip's tweet
But-
on DeMar Hamlin. We all know what happened with DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah, unfortunate injury, but he was basically telling us that.
I'm gonna say it. People got way too offended over this. Skip said what was on all of our minds. I think there was
that's
2 or
basically
3
what it
games.
is.
Yeah, I think there was 2 or 3 games left in the season. Obviously, DeMar's life is
No, I
more
thought-
important than the games, right? Okay, here's the exact tweet Skip tweeted out. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. Referring to DeMar Hamlin is greater means more than the game itself, right? That's what we're supposed to be concerned about. The game is irrelevant. People ran with that tweet, tried to cancel Skip Bayless.
And
Shannon Sharpe, he's pussy move, was not on air the next day, and I promise you it was not because Shannon Sharpe was offended personally. It is because Shannon Sharpe saw how people were acting on social media, and Shannon Sharpe wanted to save his brand. Right? There's a reason he's leaving, because he had bigger plans to begin with.
right.
But he basically turned on his boy on air, was not on air the next day, and then the day after when he came back, made a big deal, and then brought up the tweet asking Skip to take it down on live television, and Skip went into shortly thereafter on air how they had just discussed that they were not going to bring this up on air. How Skip had thought that they had already put it behind them, and then it ended. It became this whole debacle of Shannon saying like, "You're not even going to let me get through, my opening monologue," all this stuff, which is fine. I thought they mended the relationship, and now we hear Shannon Sharpe agreed to a buyout with FS1, and his last show's going to be after the finals.
It very much could be, something else as well. It doesn't have to be
they've had other...
Exactly. The 7 years is a very long time. Plus, as you said, Shannon has had other ambitions. He has, a podcast or another
Club Shay Shay. He's got over 1 million subscribers.
Right, so he doesn't really,
And he's good. He's a good on-air personality.
He does what he's supposed to do, you know what I'm saying?
So the beef with it here is, Shannon Sharpe is leaving Undisputed, which is fine in itself, right? If he got his contract bought out, that's perfectly fine as well. It's what he's done since the news came out, which really rubs me the wrong way. So I just stated how when that DeMar Hamlin situation played out, I thought Shannon Sharpe was soft, super soft. He just took the side of the people to make himself look better. But when the news came out that he was leaving, he started liking all these tweets shitting on Skip Bayless. One of which literally said, Skip Bayless is a piece of shit. And he's liking the tweets. It's like, Shannon Sharpe is a Hall of Famer. Big time name. He was on CBS before FS1. Shannon Sharpe was not in the news media cycle like he is now before Undisputed. Because Skip Bayless just creates great content because he's such an opinionist and he has some dumb takes, but he truly believes them, and it sparks controversy, exactly.
Absolutely.
And then just to do that to the guy who basically put you on, like helping you get to this point without Undisputed, Club Shay Shay, good luck. It's got 20,000 subscribers right now, so it's disrespectful. It kind of taints how I feel about Shannon Sharpe. I know I'm going on a rant here, but
it's all good.
That's a weak move, dude. Is that not a weak move? Everyone's taking Shannon Sharpe's side because it's cool to hate on Skip.
Well, nobody wants to be next to a drowning man. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those situations. He's sinking, and he's screaming and yelling and dragging everybody around him down too.
But Shannon is pouring the water into this shit.
I guess you could say that.
Absolutely. Talking shit about him online, and it's on
talking shit or agreeing with shit.
I mean, it's basically the same thing. If he's agreeing, liking someone else talking shit about his co-host, supposedly like his main man, that's talking shit. I mean, that's like a sneak diss, and then he goes on the air, and they act like everything's fine, and Skip's a complete professional. You haven't heard a word from Skip. So I've lost all respect for Shannon Sharpe. I will never watch the show that Shannon Sharpe is on again.
Damn.
That's a hot take. But it's a weak move, dude. It's a really weak move. And Neil, I'm sorry, I know I've been talking, so love to get your opinion on this.
I mean, I think it's a no-win situation. Like, it's one of those times that you as like, not to take him as an opinionist, but his job as a reporter, and this is the sad aspect of it sometimes, is, you need to be thought-provoking.
Mm-hmm.
And as he said, no doubt the NFL is considering suspending the game. He's saying there is no doubt that they should be considering it. Like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, I'm not a huge NFL fan yet, growing, but when it does dampen the mood, but like, you agree to that, and I don't want to say like it should be expected. I mean, we should take every precaution we can to protect every athlete in every sport, but at a certain point, when you play athletics, anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
They do tear their ACLs, and this was just a more severe injury, in possibly fatal, and it was emotionally charged, and that was warranted. Obviously,
Yeah,
I said, somebody's life was hanging in the balance, but I think he was broaching a subject. I mean, he was right. This wasn't game 2 of the season. This wasn't even
Major playoff implications.
Right.
And the thing is, Troy Aikman said essentially the same exact thing live on television. There was no cancel mob after him. It came after Skip because it was Skip. Because everyone hates Skip.
I mean, here, if we have one lesson, I think it should be think before you post online.
But I think it was just taken so out of context because at the end he said it was irrelevant.
It was, but what do you expect from the internet? Here's the thing.
Exactly. I think if it was someone else, there wouldn't have been backlash. But once again, because it was Skip, there was backlash. But I don't even know if that was the reason.
I mean, when you have a record the way he does of having the takes that he has, obviously it's going to be easier for you to get in hot water. So I'm not defending him, but it is would it have been taken differently if Shannon had posted that, right? If a former football player had posted that, right? That was part of the reason is you had a lot of football players that were bashing him when I mean, I understand standing with each other, but it is this is what you guys signed up to do. It is a very real thing. CTE, all of this, torn ACLs, torn when you go play at that high of a level, your body is never the same. Amon Shumpert talked about it when he was discussing he was I finally feel like I could I think it was on the 85
So true.
Yeah, he said he felt like he could finally play back in the league after being out for years because his body finally recovered. And it took, I don't know how long he'd been out the league, but he said he'd been out a while and it took him that long to recover. And when you play at that high level, it's dangerous.
Yeah, and I agree, but it's not even necessarily all about that situation. But I want to know your take on how Shannon is handling his exit. Regardless of what happened.
So, the way I see it is this is one of those times that, I don't want to say you see who your real friends are because, obviously you can separate a friendship over, somebody having a horrible opinion. Mm-hmm. So, that is warranted from somebody. But as far as being if what happened where they agreed not to talk about it on air and then he ambushed him, that's different. You set your boy up right there. If he has viewed him as his boy, to do that live on air to somebody, put him on the spot when he thought you guys were cool, you ambushed him.
Yeah.
And that's messed up. I'm not super familiar with the situation. I remember the tweet and I remember the controversy around it, but
dude, that and just essentially the sneak dissing now, liking tweets that are bad. There's multiple. If you pull up his account right now, multiple tweets that he's liked. He hasn't posted any, but liking tweets just absolutely bashing Skip Bayless. Mm-hmm. One said getting rid of Jenny Taff, or not Jenny Taff, the first host or the second one, the blonde girl. I can't remember her name. She left the show, and Shannon left the show, and someone compared it to I can't remember the exact tweet, but it was essentially they said it's similar to if you had a cast and you let Michael Jackson, say Justin Timberlake go, and you kept Weird Al Yankovic. And he liked the tweet. He's a snake, dude. I just lose all respect. I lose all respect. Meanwhile, Skip Bayless on his own podcast, which I watch, still going on, calling Shannon my man, Shannon Sharpe. It's, I don't know. It's
it's the business that you get into.
It's dirty. It's dirty. And
hey, you're right.
Why are we? What makes you side with Shannon here? Because you would agree if this was me and you, and I was out here liking these tweets,
So,
confronting you on air. Why are you taking Shannon Sharpe's side?
This is interesting.
this is interesting. You're right. If you and I were running a podcast and you went and you said some dumb shit, I would absolutely check you because I would have to. As your man, I would have to check you.
Which is fine.
Huh?
I said, which is fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody said some dumb shit, said some funny shit, and I liked it, if we had the conversation on the side, I can explain to you why it's funny or why I liked it. That's just how I am. I don't know about Shannon. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I have no reason to not side with him. I think that the tweet was very, very dumb.
How? Because he mentioned that the actual incident was irrelevant, and it was, in my opinion, taken out of context. But it's not all about the tweet either. It's you moved on from that. He's liking, these tweets dissing him.
Like, I get what you're saying, and I think it would have been fair to cancel him for the moment, as we said off camera. Maybe not. I don't think the show should be ended.
Yeah.
Long
the
long
show's
run,
going to go on just without
it's
Shannon.
it's wonderful. But to go their separate ways over it, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
No, it's not.
But
It's just how he's handling it. Be professional.
what would you consider professional in this instance? Stay with him. Stay with someone.
No. You can, once again, he can exit. Don't go liking tweets that are calling him a piece of shit, that are saying that essentially that he's jealous of the power you have on air. That's dirty business, dude.
Would you agree that the tweet was kind of tone deaf?
Yes, I would.
Which is
I will
fine.
say
It's
that.
not, but we're past, it's not just about the tweet.
No. I want to say we all agree on that front.
Yeah.
The tweet was kind of tone deaf.
A little bit. I don't think it was nearly as big of a deal as
I
people
think he
made
should
it.
have waited. I don't think he should have been as soon.
Yeah.
But
It's
the
all
thing
about
is,
the
you wouldn't be
timing.
saying that if it was anyone else. It's because it was Skip. Because a lot of other people
I
said that
don't
exact
know.
thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I would agree with that. I think
No
that
one's
I
talking
would-
about Troy Aikman because he said it live on air. You can go back and watch it.
Okay, but
Who the fuck is about Troy Aikman, man? I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. You think I care more about him than Skip? Come on, G.
I mean,
I hold people to a different expectation.
Here,
I don't know that nigga.
Hold on. It's different in the fact that he was live on air, and there was probably someone in his ear because they just don't want there to be radio silence.
Well, and we're leaving out a lot of the story too. So the next day after the tweet, like I said, Shannon wasn't there. Skip did a whole show by himself. It was weird to watch, but he did a whole 15-minute monologue, clarifying how he meant the tweet to be perceived and apologized if people took it out of context. But what he said, he said the game, it was irrelevant. That's what I don't understand. What is the issue with the tweet? If he is saying that it's all irrelevant because DeMar Hamlin is more important, that's what I don't understand about the tweet itself. But the fact that he put Skip in that position to go on air all by himself, very awkward episode. It was terrible. Skip clarifies everything he said, basically apologizes, but just verifies what he was trying to convey, and then Shannon Sharpe kind of stabs him in the back again. But then we move forward,
So
and
you
then
can't really be upset with how people perceive your message if you don't perceive it the correct way.
But if
if
you're
you
not
say
smart enough to
something-
understand what he's saying, is what I don't. Not you. I didn't.
No,
that as an instance
right.
here.
But at the same time, if
You're-
everybody thinks something,
Everyone hops on the wagon because it's cool to hate on Skip.
Yeah, but what we understand about mob mentality, and this is why I said if the lesson is anything, the lesson is think before you tweet, think before you post. But it's the fact that your job as an orator, your job as a speaker, is to
convey a message.
yes, and make sure your message is conveyed the way you intend it to be received. And now, yes, in a perfect world, him coming out saying, this is what happened, I didn't mean it this way, and everything. Unfortunately, being
People don't
the
care about
realist,
that.
being the realist I am, this is how many public apologies, YouTube public apology, Like, there's probably countless YouTubers who are apologizing for scandals. At this point, they seem half-hearted. They seem scripted. You know, like, when you get on there and, like, it seems like you're reading off the teleprompter, which it probably did, because he probably was.
Skip? No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if he wasn't...
Just because it's Skip.
I mean, but the thing is like, you need to remember when you say something, you can't put words back in your mouth.
But
because these are the same guys who, when John Moran had his second incident, were saying that his apology that he wrote was AI generated.
That's crazy. I didn't hear that. If that's true, that is nuts.
Yeah.
I want to get into John Morant a little bit later.
Right,
I want to
but
explore that.
But the fact that, you know, he did something, apologized for it, and then they can go on air and say, "Oh, it's fake."
That's fine. But the thing is, I'm moving. I'm not even really concerned about that. If Shannon Sharpe was upset about that, fine. You skipped the day. You called Skip out live on air. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more about like their relationship. They've done the show for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like,
So you just think that he should have had a little bit more loyalty towards his guy?
it's not even. It's just keep your mouth shut. I'm not concerned about that. I'm really not even talking about the tweet of the DeMar Hamlin situation. I'm talking about how Shannon Sharpe is handling his exit now, kind of approving, like giving a stamp of approval to shit on Skip Bayless. Mm-hmm. That's not professional, and that's the part with I don't see how you could agree with that aspect of it.
No, that's not the part that I agree with.
Because that's the main part. That's the part that really pisses me
very
off.
Snakish.
Yeah, that drives me, and that's why I have
very snakish. But no, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, and that's why I have no interest in
social media. Because for things like that, because it can be perceived a certain way.
It's not perceived. It's literally
he can go on air and say, "Oh, I just thought the tweet was funny."
Not when you have like five.
But he could say, "Oh, we laughed about it in the back. I like the tweet."
It ain't like that. It's not like that though.
But we don't know.
We do know. We do.
You're just.
How could you, liking a tweet calling your boy a piece of shit? A piece of shit, and then another tweet saying that he's the least important guy of the crew amongst. I think there's like 5 total. You can't say like.
Now, what you need to understand is that in business,
that's very unprofessional in business.
No. In business of this such, there are such things as. I'm not saying that this is fake beef, but there have been staged beefs before, plenty of times to get more publicity for certain people's things.
That's even worse if that's what he's doing. That's soft. That's why I have no respect for Shannon Sharpe as a media personality.
Countless people have done it within.
That doesn't make it right.
Well, then Skip would also be complicit in the whole thing.
How?
What do you mean?
They would have told him to tweet something controversial.
No, it was nothing Skip did. Skip has kept his mouth shut. He hasn't mentioned anything.
No,
But like for the fake, it's not important. We agree that he is acting unprofessional.
Because it's not about the DeMar Hamlin tweet. Because that was months ago. This is happening right now. Shannon's a snake. I don't see how there's any way around it. Trying to warrant him calling his boy a piece of shit.
He said he was.
But you said you were siding with Shannon. That's what doesn't make sense.
I am siding with Shannon on the fact that I don't like the tweet.
No, we're not talking about this tweet. Okay, I'm with you.
Yes.
It's my favorite TV show. I get worked up.
That part is what I side with Shannon on. I don't like the tweet. Him liking other people's tweets, I just said I don't agree with that. Did I defend it? Absolutely, because there's always a defense somewhere. But
could we end this just by reading the tweets? Could you look them up? Just like the Shannon Sharpe tweets that he's liked.
This is true.
And then let the people.
Don't have Twitter.
You don't have to have Twitter. Just Google it, right?
Damn.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like if you just Google, like there's people like writing articles about it, and let the people decide because people love to hate on Skip. But I'm trying to shed some light that like Skip isn't always the bad guy.
Everybody hates Skip.
It's facts. That should be the new intro to the new show. With whatever co-host they get.
All right, what's it saying, man?
I'm pulling them up.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay. This is crazy. What a scandal.
Sucks though. Yeah, you don't want to. You don't like to see such a good thing end this way.
The beef is probably fake, though. You know what I'm saying? They were definitely in the back.
Skip doesn't play the beef game.
You know, when you've been doing a show for 7 years, sometimes it gets a little boring, and it's as reality as it can get, right? Everybody's got to have a little bit of beef, every once in a while. I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple years Shannon comes back to the show. And then
Who knows?
And then he comes out and he says, yeah, no, Skip's been my guy the whole time. You know what I'm saying? We've been laughing and joking about this.
But I do love Stephen A. Smith, because when they departed, Stephen A. Smith handled it like a professional. Even now on his podcast, he's saying he would never stab Skip Bayless in the back, because that's his boy. There's just a level of professionalism that Stephen A. Smith has that Shannon Sharpe lacks.
Well, Shannon Sharpe also did call national security on a football team because they were beating them. So,
Wait, what?
I don't know about that. I know nothing about it.
He played for the Buffalo Bills.
Who?
Shannon Sharpe.
No, he didn't. Played for the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens.
That's who I'm Denver. And they were playing someone. And they were beating them. And he got on the telephone.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking. He's like, we're gonna need the National Guard. Yeah, it's hilarious. Shannon Sharpe, a football player, is a beast, and he's hilarious. That's
so it's
I love
it's
him.
little,
I love his personality.
It's a little different, going through certain things with a football player who played at the highest level.
Yeah,
and was
one of the best to ever do it.
was also being shitted on and saying that he's not as good. But
his persona, he makes it seem like he's like this pure journalist now. I love Shannon. He always looks so professional. He sits up straight. He's got the sexy suits on, and this is just so out of character for what he's kind of built himself up to be.
I don't know if it's out of character. I don't know because people were saying that Kanye's crazy now, but he's been crazy all the time. He's been saying controversial things all the time. Skip's been saying controversial things all the time. So I don't know.
There you go.
Right here. Okay. So these are the tweets
here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go. This is what we're ending on. These are the tweets that Shannon Sharpe liked and gave his stamp of approval to. First one. FS1 keeping Skip Bayless and losing Jenny Taft and Shannon Sharpe is like a music promoter keeping Weird Al Yankovic but getting rid of Lady Gaga and James Brown. Here we go. I only watch because of Shannon Sharpe. Whatever you do next, I'm watching. Oh, I gotta find the next one.
I've never heard that combo before. I think that was a lame tweet. Maybe he just liked James Brown. Maybe he just got done listening to a song by Lady Gaga and James Brown, and he was like, you know what? That's funny. No, I'm just playing.
Here we go. The golden nugget is loading. Shannon Sharpe has outgrown Skip Bayless. He is far superior. He has a wonderfully bright future ahead. Bayless, meanwhile, won't find another partner. His career will nosedive because he is a piece of shit.
Hey, it was gaslighting him in the first part of the tweet. If it was me, I would have read the first part and would have been like, you know what? I like it.
That's weak. It's weak.
Hey, man.
We all know how I feel about it.
We do. We do indeed. Again.
Okay. Well, to wrap this up, this is the More to Us podcast.
Hey, it's more to us than meets the eye.
Undisputed edition.
Thanks for watching.
See ya.